cannot emphasize enough on the role of a good customer care service. Now, this is the emotional unit of the business that helps to build a connection between the consumers and the business. To ensure that this part of your business runs without a glitch, you definitely need a good call center software. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Analytics Inside podcast, where we talk about the ever evolving technology space. And I'm your host, Priya Dialani. Now, in today's digital world, contact centers face tremendous challenges from rapid technology evolution and changing customer preferences. You have high call volumes, which are driven by digital channels, which can also lead to long wait times and lower satisfaction. Now, managing inquiries across diverse channels adds complexity, risking inconsistency. And of course, meeting customer expectations for personalized, timely responses while maintaining efficiency is definitely a huge hurdle. And if not ensuring data security and compliance and with the sensitive information remains very crucial that way. Now, to discuss about why we need to have like a robust call center software and how different technologies can help enhance the overall process, we have Ganesh Gopalan, co-founder and CEO of Gnani.ai, who will help us understand how Gnani.ai helps deal with the challenges that call center software or call center industries face. Hi Ganesh, how are you doing? Welcome to our podcast.
Great talking to you, Priya.
Great. So it's a pleasure to have you with us on our podcast again and reconnecting with you after quite a long time. So can you again brief us about your organization and its specialization?
So Gnani.ai is a deep tech company with a bunch of patents in the voice and the NLU space. And what we are doing is to help contact centers, or contact centers are essentially the more formalized version of customer experience. So I'd like to say that we are in the business of improving customer experience across channels, leading with voice. So what does this really mean, right? So essentially, today, customers are talking to brands across multiple channels. But the overall experience in many of these interactions isn't what it really should be, both in terms of efficiency, both in terms of the quality of service, both in terms of other parameters like wait times, and also in understanding the customers. So what we bring to the table is using the power of AI to improve the overall customer experience. And what this means is taken in two parts. In many cases, for a lot of routine kind of inquiries, we have bots. This could be voice bots, bots on any other channel, which will take care of the routine inquiries and prevent wait times, prevent time it takes for customers to just wait on agents to service them, and get the information out in an accurate fashion to the end customers quickly. The second part of what we do is help the people who are handling customer service. This could be formalized agents, could be people at various front offices, do their jobs better. And this could be in terms of real-time coaching, real-time helping them get access to information, real-time helping them, telling them what are the next steps, real-time making sure that they are compliant, and a bunch of other things which again will lead to efficiency and also improve the overall customer experience. So to summarize, what we really do is to take the power of AI and improve the whole contact center experience for end customers.
Thank you so much, Gopal. Glad to know about Gnani.ai and its solutions and specialization. Now, quick follow-up question would be if you can also highlight something more about your role and contribution towards the company.
So essentially, Anand and I were part of Texas Instruments, and while we were at TI, we were doing a lot of work on things like 4G base stations, and that's when it all hit us that the whole wave of voice AI that's going to revolutionize the whole customer experience industry. And Anand, I'm a co-founder and the CEO of Gnani.ai. And my role essentially is to take care of the overall strategy. And as you well know, that in a startup, you apart from strategy, you do get involved in each and every aspect of the company. So essentially, we started this company around about 6 7 years back. Started as a pure deep tech AI company before the whole AI thing became popular, right? And great progress that I'd like to say in developing systems that or developing software and the core deep tech that has helped more than 50 plus customers all across the world in improving their customer experience. So pretty much proud of what we are doing, but huge opportunities that we see ahead. Exponential growth in terms of customer acceptance of AI. Customers looking now to see how AI can help them, really improve their customer experience. So it's a great opportunity, and the good work that we've done before the whole AI, I would say, the wave became popular, stand us in good stead in taking this company to the next level.
Right. And since we're talking about customer service, Forbes gathered that businesses lose up to $75 billion annually due to poor customer service. And also, another study confirmed this impact, showing that 61% of consumers would readily stop transacting with a business after a poor service experience. Now, unfortunately, handling all the calls and requests by customers can be very overwhelming for the call center team sometimes. And even if they're a team of experts, there are certain hurdles that will come across. So, can you outline some of the key challenges that contact centers currently face, and particularly with reference to customer interaction?
See, I think from the point of view of contact centers, the biggest problem is how do we provide accurate answers to customers' questions and in a short time frame. So the one of the first and the biggest problems with customer experience in contact centers is uh, wait times. Very often there aren't enough agents available to take calls. Again, this while I generalize in terms of calls, this could be any channel. So as a result of not having enough agents at the contact centers, there are huge wait times, and this obviously is a huge irritant to end customers, and it becomes difficult. Say, let's say after a customer has been waiting for say a minute to service that particular customer to the best experience possible. The second problem that contact center agents in particular face is access to information, right? Often access in companies is spread across multiple databases, multiple interfaces, and contact centers struggle or agents struggle to collect that information quickly and present it to the customers. So the first thing that I said is just even getting to the call takes time. Second is once a person is on the call, what we call as average call handling time tends to be extremely high because the data is not properly presented. Thirdly, from the contact center point of view, there's a huge element of cost involved, right? Fourthly, there are compliance issues. The compliance issues that contact centers face are tremendous because very often, they are in the business, for example, of selling certain brands and selling certain products, but they are not quite aware of the complete set of features for that product, and often end up overselling that particular product, right? And leads to huge lawsuits and various other things later. So I've specified a bunch of problems. So some of the bigger problems are things like fraud, right? There are huge fraud implications in fraudsters calling up contact centers and getting access to data which they shouldn't be getting. So, in summary, a bunch of problems include cost, they include the overall customer experience, the quality of the data, and the security. So, definitely, huge challenges that traditional contact centers face.
Right, I think I very well agree. Like you mentioned, a very important point is a long waiting time. And that, of course, arises because of managing large volumes of customer data, or diverse queries. So this can sometimes overwhelm the traditional call center systems and leading to delays and inefficiency in the service delivery. And on the other hand, I also feel that customer expectations are also rising in terms of having a swift respond to their queries, which becomes very difficult if you haven't implemented some robust technological systems. And here I feel that artificial intelligence can play a huge role in helping the contact centers create a positive customer interaction and drive business growth. While we already know the implications or the impact of AI in terms of how it enhances the business operational efficiency. I think I wanted to talk about how the new form of AI, what we call as a generative AI. So, how can generative AI play a role here and help address these challenges in terms of what the challenges contact centers are facing right now?
Yeah, first and foremost, in Gnani.ai, we addressed each of these challenges right from the time the customer first calls in a contact center. We have, as part of our product portfolio, we have a product called Armor 365 that validates the customer for the few seconds of his voice in terms of voice biometrics. Again, saving huge wait time for that customer where he has to validate himself, specify mother's maiden name and bunch of other. The second thing is once the call is started, uh, there are sort of routine stuff that I mentioned within the calls, right, which we automate using our virtual agents, right? And that's the second piece. The third piece is where you definitely do need contact center agents. We have a product called Agent Assist, and what Agent Assist does is, and we call it Assist 365. What it really does is, in real time, helps the agents answer the queries faster. Now, specific to Gen AI and how Gen AI has changed the whole equation. So traditionally, some of the challenges in developing some of these bots and this agent assist products, were that you had to find out the intent of every piece of conversation, and you had long workflows, you had multiple ways in which you need to provide training data to handle each of these intents, right? Though these were AI, and you did not have to specify each and every utterance of the customer, but it involved quite a bit of I would say effort. Right? Where Gen AI really comes in is huge savings in time in launching some of these products, because what really happens is that once you have the data, right, that has to be used to service the customers, you could very quickly develop model without really getting into intents at each level. So speeding up, I would say, developing of some of these products. Secondly, the availability of multiple options and the ability to custom tune the existing models in Gen AI with your own data, so that you can be sure that the data is secure, and secondly, it answers questions to the highest level of accuracy. So I would say the Gen AI revolution, and we've built Gen AI all across our products. Each and every one of our product platforms is now using some feature of Gen AI internally, right? And the reasons are simple. This speeds up the ability of us to service our customers. Uh, it increases the accuracy of what we service, and the way we typically implement Gen AI is also to safeguard customer privacy. So due to a bunch of these reasons, we've seen the advent of Gen AI really helping us in servicing more customers and taking this to the next level.
Right. I agree because I just came across a couple of articles regarding Gen AI, and I think when we talk about Chat GPT, for example, we can put up any queries and we get responses accordingly. So I think here also the technology can assist employees with more timely customer contacts and help them find an answer quickly by making suggestions and delivering answers proactively. And also administrators or supervisors or quality managers can also benefit from Gen AI powered assistants because they can help interpret data quickly and spot areas where they can enhance employee improvement and learning, and also automate routine tasks. Now when we're talking about automation, I wanted to understand, how do you think that Gen AI based solutions can improve customer experience and drive customer automation? How do you think that's possible? With what ways do you think Gen AI can do that?
So I think I'll give you some examples and see, how we can take this, explain this the best way possible. First and foremost, agent assist, right? So one of the ways, one of the things that we do for our customers is that we help the experience of the end customer to be much better by improving the way that agents themselves can respond to the end customer. This is not like replacing agents, but this is like enhancing the agents with the power of, I would say, Gen AI, so that they can reply to customer queries faster. I'll give you some examples. Let's suppose there's a contact center, right? And when we work with some really large contact centers today, so with the contact center that we were working with, so their concern was, we have this huge operation with huge compliance concerns, with huge number of agents in the US, right? And how do we ensure that we can get this launched in the shortest time possible? And they said, look, we are ourselves not very free to provide you all the domain data and what is really needed to fine tune your AI system. So what we really told them is, look, can you give us some of your past recordings, and we will use the powers of Gen AI to very quickly develop our systems, custom tuned models, which will be ready quickly within say 3 to 4 weeks time. And we have very quickly made this possible for that end customer, where we took some of his past historical data and some of the conversations and built the product without spending too much time of the end customer. So essentially, the fact that our entire product is Gen AI enabled helps in speeding up developing of these systems. Second is that we told this customer that, look, we want to only access your data in your systems, right? And not let this data go out of your control. So we use custom tuned Gen AI models that sit on the customer's cloud. Sometimes it's hybrid, and develop these models that get launched extremely quickly, right? And that's the huge power of the Gen AI kind of it. Especially when you start looking at a lot of data that has to be processed and a lot of flows. So using Gen AI, we are able to very quickly launch these systems for our end customers. If you look at this whole area of agent assist that I talked earlier, it works similarly, right? Just as similar to the automation systems that we provide. So this could be across channels, and again helps in developing models that will very quickly get launched in the customer's premises. The third use case of this that I see is we help customers with searching, right? Like for example, let's suppose an agent needs access to data that's spread across the organization. So we do a Gen AI based cognitive search that helps them get access to these disparate data that's in multiple databases and CRMs, so that he or she can very quickly answer the end customer queries. If this was not there, then the agents would have to look at multiple screens, would have to call up people to get certain pieces of information, so on and so forth. So developing a cognitive search using Gen AI has been some of the fantastic things that Gen AI has helped in speeding up access to information for customer service agents. So I would say broadly, a bunch of these solutions that help in answering customer queries. On the automation side, I'll give you a few examples. In the good old days, let's suppose you went to a e-commerce store, right? And you said, look, I want. Let's suppose you said, I want a blue Air Jordan shoe, right? Then your intent-based systems could answer that. But let's suppose you asked a question that said, look, I have knee pain or I have arthritis, and can you suggest the best shoe? Typically the intent-based systems couldn't handle those kind of queries. So here what you do is you use the power of Gen AI to come up with the features of the shoe that a person, say, suffering from arthritis would need. And then our systems would then look at the existing products within the customer's portfolio and suggest the best possible product. We are doing similar things with credit card companies. Let's suppose a customer comes in and asks things like, what's like I'm a small business owner, I'm about 60 years old, and what's the best credit card can you suggest from your portfolio? Again, we use Gen AI to figure out the characteristics of the card that he may need, and choose the right card from the customer portfolio from our intent-based systems. So essentially, some sort of orchestration that we do with Gen AI, along with the information that's available through intent recognition from the, say, the customer's product portfolio or the customer's information. So the power of Gen AI is enormous in answering queries that typically could not be done earlier in automated systems, in the pre-Gen AI era.
Definitely, I agree. I think Gen AI has tremendous capabilities in terms of overcoming the challenges that a typical AI had quite a years back. And also, thank you for letting us know that how Yanni has been using Gen AI in enhancing the solutions and making sure that it's improving the performance of the contact centers. Now, conversely, in one of your earlier responses, you mentioned about ensuring compliance and security as well in all of your solutions. But I think one security risk that is associated with implementing Gen AI in contact centers is the potential vulnerability to adversarial attacks on AI models. Now, these attacks effectively manipulate input data to deceive AI systems, leading to incorrect outputs. And generative AI's ability to imitate human communication in almost any style prompt serious concerns about some automated social engineering attacks. So, how do you ensure data privacy and security when implementing Gen AI in your Gnani, in all of the solutions that Gnani AI is?
Yeah, I think there are multiple things that we do. First and foremost, what we typically propose to very large customers is a custom tune model on the customer's cloud, right? So this is important in two ways. A, the fact that it's a custom tune model. What we mean by that is we don't just call a OpenAI or a GPT. I think the people who tried to do that themselves earlier by just calling OpenAI and GPT very quickly found out that they were hit by hallucinations. They were hit with a very inaccurate data they provided to end customers, so on and so forth. So we've been very careful in saying first and foremost we do only custom tuned models. What it really means is that we would restrict the powers of generative AI to a smaller data set, right? Typically with what's popularly called RAG-based implementations and so on and so forth. What it really does is uh, restricts the data that your Gen AI has access to, and will give a high and will ensure that the data is sacrosanct and then it does not hallucinate. So this part is first and foremost very important in having a custom tuned model. So what we have as part of our platform is you can feed our platform data from across your organization. This could be data from your CRM systems, could be data in the form of PDFs, Excel files, so on and so forth, and we would derive a custom tuned model out of that and make sure that there are no hallucinations. Right. The second thing that I mentioned earlier was host it very often on the end customer's cloud wherever it makes commercial sense. So again, what we are really saying is that we don't call APIs. What we will do is we'll have the model itself hosted. Right. So we typically take, for example, we could take something like a Llama 2, we could take something like a Mistral, use the customer's data to do a custom tuned model and host that model on the end customer's cloud so that you really don't have any data going out of your organization. At the same time, the data that you present to your end customers is highly accurate. Right. So a bunch of these practices help to ensure that security, privacy, as well as accuracy of the data is ensured, so that customers don't fear being hit by lawsuits and stuff like that due to inaccurate data. One of the other things that I like to point out is lately, like you said, there have also been attacks in form of new kinds of fraud. Like for example, voice cloning has become commonplace. It's very easy to generate a voice clone, right? And people have been hit by voice phishing and bunch of other things. So what we provide is an ability through our voice biometrics platform that's called Armor 365, the ability to detect synthetic voice. And we also provide the ability to tune this entire model so that the accuracy of this biometric software also can go up to a very, very high level. So even things like voice phishing is something that we tackle using our existing Gnani platform. So we clearly understand that data privacy is probably the most important aspect of implementing a Gen AI system, and we have multiple ways to ensure that uh, your data is secure, the data does not go outside your organization, and the data that you expose to your end customer is accurate and does not hallucinate.
Right. I think you highlighted some important aspects with regards to data cloning and data phishing and how they are increasingly becoming more prominent in today's world. But we're glad to know that you have certain solutions in place that can help detect the synthetic voice and mitigate the consequences associated with it. But as more brands will harness Gen AI technologies to aggregate data for a clear picture of areas of improvement to enhance the services by human agents. But on the other hand, I also feel that it's crucial for CX leaders to call AI what it is, or rather than risking their customer trust. Now, attempting to pass an automated response off as a human, especially in a high emotion scenarios, is a mistake. So I think companies, what they need right now is to strike a balance between human and automated services. What do you think are the current challenges in the industry of the entire contact center solutions and voice-enabled technologies, or any specific challenge you would want to highlight that Gnani.ai is facing, and how would you like to overcome these challenges?
So I think first and foremost, I'd like to talk about a challenge with the industry, say about a couple of months back, or a lot of competitors are still facing today, right? And this used to be latency in GenAI systems, right? But the good news is like we've in Gnani.ai have cracked some of these problems. We obviously have the advantage of having been very powerful on, say, for example, on things like speech to text systems, and we've been working on our own models for the last 6, 7 years. Right? Now that, along with say a Gen AI highly tuned model, you need to develop that and deploy that at a latency of less than say 500 milliseconds, right? And that typically used to be a challenge earlier with some of the stuff with Gen AI, because Gen AI typically had high latency. But we've been able to now develop systems that ensure very low latency, so that Gen AI can actually play a practical part in most of the deployments of voice AI and multiple other implementations across channels. So I think from the technology standpoint, this some of the companies in the industry struggle, and we've been on the forefront of solving problems like latency. On the other hand, I think with the industry, I mean, there's a very positive thing that's happening. That is, Gen AI is something really fantastic, right? I mean, people are starting to compare it to the birth of the internet and bunch of other things, right? So, so the key aspect of Gen AI here really is that there are new developments happening every day, right? So you need to be on top of the latest models, the latest techniques, and what you could do best to improve the experience of your end customers. So I think the key challenge is I would say it's a positive thing that deciding the focus, right? Which industries do you focus on? Because every customer in every industry is looking for this solution today, right? So the key, and obviously your resources, have to be focused on what gives you the best returns. And so I think the challenge is more like choosing the right opportunity in deciding the right industry to focus on. So in summarize, I would say some companies still face some tech issues which we kind of resolve. Secondly, if you're not focused on data privacy, you may win in the short run, but in the longer run, it would affect you, and that's why we stay focused on ensuring customer data privacy, and often for larger customers, doing this on end customers cloud. Right? And thirdly, like I pointed out, it's very important to keep in touch with your focus areas and your end customers, and to make sure that you develop systems that are foolproof and don't have hallucinations. So I think very easy to get carried away here and go after every use case, but best is to stay focused and deliver more values to their end customer.
Yes, I think it's very important to stay updated with the technology space and ensuring that you have robust systems in place to help you stay ahead of the curve, or at least be able to adapt to the changing business scenarios and landscape. So, having said that, one last question for you, Ganesh, would be what do you think would be the future in terms of Gen AI and contact center operations?
I think the time for avatars is here, right? And I think that's going to really humanize the experience of contact centers in the next, I would say, few months, or maybe the next 12 months time, right? One of the typical problems with I would say systems like, say, chat, right, have been really that it tends to be a little anonymous. You don't even talk to anyone there. uh, you just have something being typed out on the other side, and you are unable to put a face to the person who's doing this. So very soon we're going to have very high quality avatars, very high quality, I would say, video chat, very high quality operations that are going to really revolutionize this. The security, which I talked about earlier, like we have a product for detecting voice cloning and stuff, right? Security is going to become extremely important. Because one mistake there, and will cause irreparable damage to multiple companies, both on the vendor side as well as the end customer side. So I think security is something that's going to be very important. Thirdly, while we all are very gung ho about this whole experience, I'd like to draw your attention to the Industrial Revolution, right? And the Industrial Revolution, when it started, and machines started helping human beings in delivering products faster, more efficiently. Uh, but it's been about, say, a couple of 100 years, and it's only after, say about 150 years, and finally you have robots, say, owning, say, some elements of the shop floor, right? So essentially what I'm trying to say is humans, the best way to use AI or Gen AI is co-pilots or agent assist for many use cases, where the AI will be working in conjunction with us humans in making our lives better. The time frames, however, will be extremely short. It will not be 150 years before the machines take over some routine aspect of human work. But having said that, we're going to see significant time, in fact, a few decades where it's going to be a lot of work that's going to happen on agent assist, where agents will be assisting humans in answering queries better, faster, more accurately, and in a shorter period of time. So I like to conclude there by again summarizing. Avatars are going to be big. It's going to be all about humanizing the experience. Security is going to be big, and next few years are going to be times of focus on systems such as agent assist, where humans will be working along with along with the AI systems in contact centers to make the experience much better.
Well, yes, definitely. And I think as Gen AI will evolve and create more personalized customer interactions by leveraging advanced predictive analytics and deep customer behavior analysis. So this will also result some in highly tailored product recommendation content or services. And I think it will also become better at understanding and responding to human emotions. They will be able to emotionally adapt with the virtual agents to empathize with customers and adapt their communication style accordingly, while also ensuring compliance and data security. And I think that's where individual companies will come into picture and ensure that they have robust strategies in place, like how you mentioned in terms of ensuring data security. Well, thank you so much, Ganesh, for your time. It was a pleasure having you with us on a podcast and helping us gain a new perspective and understanding how generative AI will help improve customer interactions with the level 2 the customer center software and contact agents.
Thank you, Priya. It was great talking to you. Appreciate that.
Great. So, yes, definitely. So, this is for our listeners. Stay tuned for upcoming podcasts, and you can listen to all our podcasts on Spotify and other leading channels. Thank you so much.